Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of Earth for May of 2026. Almost halfway through the year already. I'm not sure where the last few months have went, but they've disappeared. So if you are the element of Earth is covering the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or have Earth high up in your charts, then this message is for you. There's in the description, I do have a natal chart. It's just a basic 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols. And then there's 10 to 20 page description of what those actually mean. And that's not a sponsored link or anything. It's just a tool that I want to make sure you guys have easy access to if you are interested. There are some other links down there that are affiliate links, so that does help the channel when you click through those. Otherwise, we will get started here with the I-ching hexagram, which I cast before the video started. And Earth has number 8, and it's called Unity and Coordination. Unity or coordination, good fortune. Further consultations of an oracle will provide the omen of great and lasting value, no error. Those whose hearts are troubled assemble. The laggards suffer disaster. Earth, you don't want to be being lazy this month. You don't have to rush out and go do everything all yesterday, but you definitely want to keep moving. There is an energy that's coming up here. We're working with other people, doing some cooperation, some bringing in the right people to align with you. You've got a really positive vibe going this month, but it's definitely saying you want to keep moving. Being slow or being lazy is not a good call for this month, which if you're in the northern area, this is kind of when you start getting outside anyway. You're doing your gardening, your prepping, and all that kind of stuff. So it's the call to, hey, you've got your spring outdoor cleaning to do, so let's get started. Our baseline here, our foundational line. Where there is confidence, the work of unification is carried out faultlessly, for confidence is like a flowing bowl. There is a windfall yet to come. Even if you're not exactly sure what's going to happen, like you have a goal but you're not sure the steps, this is saying it's time to really step forward with that. Get confident with it. Be clear. If you're working with other people, be clear. If you're not sure, push forward. But it's time to really get things moving the way that they need to be moving. And that's not always the easiest thing to do, but Earth, you have the ability. You remember, you're the ones that carry like rocks and stones and crystals within your energy field. So those are things that you actually can do, is be that more confident, more assertive energy. So our second place line, unification or cooperation should proceed from within your own circle. Righteous persistence will bring good fortune. And when we look at that concept, this unification, cooperation should proceed from within your circle for the second line. What we're really getting here is you're not going to need to go searching for this help. You're not going to need to go searching for the people to work with, cooperate with, however that's going to work out for you, because you already have them available. That's what the universe is saying here, is you already have the people you need to move forward with this project, whatever it may be, so you don't have to go searching. Now it's time to figure out who's got the talents and skills for each aspect of what you're building, whether that's a relationship, a house, whether that's a business. You already have the circle around you that you're going to need to at least get this first part off the ground. And righteous persistence, that means you're staying true to your morals, your ethics, the core value system of who and what you really are, and that is going to help propel you forward as you're working this month, or creating this month, or however that works for you. Our third place line, he joins himself with evildoers. So this is how that question of things may not be going as well as you would like them to. If something comes up, that laggard feeling, or that the people who have troubled hearts are assembling, this is what they're talking about. You don't want to get tied in with the more negative side of existence. You've got that good circle, you're working and building. So if you end up with those people who are well, if we cut this corner over here, we can make this happen sooner. No, you don't want to do that. And that's what's coming forward here is this is not the time to cut corners. This is not the time to try to take the easy route because, well, so-and-so did it and they didn't get in trouble. You're not so-and-so. You want to make sure you're sticking to that righteous persistence. So our 4th place line, he cooperates with people beyond his immediate circle. Righteous persistence brings good fortune. So you're going to start by building that inner core value system, that group of people or 1 or 2, however big it is, that's going to be the most support. Those are going to be the ones you rely on the most. But once you get this thing started, you're going to realize, and so are they, that you need more help. And that's where you're reaching out to others. And if it's in a relationship thing, this could be you and your spouse, and you're wanting to buy the house, build the property, whatever it is. And this is where you may have to reach out to be like, okay, we have this goal, we have this dream, this is what we're looking towards, help. And that's not a bad thing. This is saying you're still going to end up in a good spot. Stay true to your morals and ethics, though. That is a huge aspect of what's coming up here for Earth. So our 5th place line, it's this first solid line, only solid line. Relying on his people's cooperation, the king pursues game which is enclosed on 3 sides, but loses the quarry ahead. This is because the local people were not warned. Righteous persistence brings good fortune. Okay, there's a footnote on that one. We're going to have to check that because I'm not sure what exactly that means. This would suggest our loss is not due to disloyalty, but to having failed to take people into our confidences. So when you rely on people's cooperation, this is something that does happen. Yes, you're the one who started this project. You're the one with the goal. You're the one that's seeing the bigger picture. But if you're not willing to open up and let people into kind of what the inner workings are, that's where you're going to have the problems. It says, the king pursues game which is enclosed on 3 sides, but loses the quarry. Because you've only closed in 3 sides. In other words, you've told them part of the plan, but you're like holding your cards to your chest. Oh, I'm not going to tell anyone. Okay, well, when it comes time when they need that information and they fail, you can't blame them then. That's what they're saying here. But that righteous persistence, if you're following that core value system, you're going to share the information when it's necessary. You're going to see 3 steps ahead and realize, oh crap, I need to tell them this information, or oh no, this is going on, I need to make sure they know this. And you're going to share the information as needed. You're not just going to hold it all to yourself. So our capstone here, the top line, attempts to bring about unity when there is no one at the head results in disaster. Earth, if you're the one leading the charge on this, which it sounds like you're going to be leading the charge on some projects, or at least some leadership is going to be called forth from you for the month of May, you need to be the one that says yes. If you're going to be the one walking the forefront here, you have to be the one to walk the forefront. This is not a time of, well, if I only let someone else do it, it's okay. No. Earth, you're the one being called forth. You're the one being called to step up. You're the one being called to do the work. And if you're willing to do that, the universe is going to reward you. However that may manifest for you, you will be the one rewarded. If you're not willing to do the work, don't step forward. And that is something that I'm hearing quite loud right now. If you're going to do the work, you have to be willing to do that. That also means if you're not ready for the change, transformation, and possible expansion that's going to happen, don't step up. That is very, very clear right now. So see how this plays out for our Earth family. We're going to hop over to our cards here. If you are interested and this is new for you, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and I read intuitively with, well, everything. So as I'm reading the cards, if there's words on them, I'll read them out loud, and then we'll see what source brings in. If you see or sense something different and you feel comfortable, feel free to drop that in the comments. It's always interesting to hear what other people have to say with stuff. There are about 4 weeks in May, so we'll go do 4 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, we look at a message from source, and then we look at a little more clarification from the tarot. So we are starting off with, for the first week's guide or guardian, the goddess Rhiannon, and the stone is Amazonite. Your energy is integrity. You listen deeply for the truth of your heart. You create harmony between your intentions, words, and actions. You make promises that honor your soul based on the wisdom of your heart. You make decisions with courage and boldness. You act with respect for spiritual wisdom, recognizing the power within, which surrenders into inspired service for the greater good. You have the strength of character. You need to live with integrity within your own heart. You emanate peace and grace. The simplest way to look at integrity, there's a huge dictionary definition for it, but the simple way to view it is this: doing the right thing even when no one's looking, because when you're following your morals, ethics, and your code of values, that's going to make sure that you stick to that true path. Each different religion has their own way of looking at it. There's like 4 or 8 pillars in Buddhism. I can't remember the exact number right now. There is certain paths in Taoism. There's the 10 Commandments in Christianity and Judaism. Each one has a value system. As long as you're following those value systems and it's a code of morals or ethics, things tend to go better. And that's what this is saying, is when you're walking with integrity, and I'm hearing quite loudly right now, this applies for the month of May. You can use it all the time, really, but the month of May, you really want to get clear on those value systems. So if you've never done that, sit down and write down each aspect of life. And that way you can get a moral code and value or ethics with each one: spiritual, physical, financial, relationships, and then put words there so you can see, write it out on paper, what's happening and what your value system is. If you're in a relationship, you and your partner, this can be a great way to kind of codify that stuff so that you guys can see things as, this is what we value, this is how we stand forth in the world, and that inspires a really powerful action that's coming in this month. Your message from Source is number 43, Overflow, Overwhelm, and Plenty. Okay, overflow has a really interesting vibe with it because you're going to be getting the good things, Earth. That is a given from what I'm hearing. But we're also having to be paying attention to not be overwhelmed. Overwhelm is when you get so many things going that you suddenly can't control it all. That's why with the I-ching it talks about bringing in the close circle, figuring out where things are going, and then having to bring in extras from the outside. And that's what they're saying, is you don't have to do this alone. The overflow is gonna be great. You're gonna get what you need here, but you're wanting to make sure you bring in the outside vibes as well, because it's gonna be a lot. Your message from the tarot is number 17 in the major arcana, so this is big life energy, and that is the Star. Look to the future with hope and optimism, the power of faith to move mountains, happy changes bringing relief from challenging times. And you see there's a well there. There's in the back, there's a well cap. So this is really saying it's time to really open the door. You're at the divine well. You're at the well of mystery and magic, so to speak. So you're in this vibe of how far do you want to go? The stars are aligning, they're shining on you. And this first week, this is the week of clarity for Earth. This is your time to make plans, make organizations, get clear on what it is you want to build, grow, and expand, whether that's relationship, personal, or otherwise. Get clear this first week, because things are going to start rolling pretty quick is what I'm getting the energy here. It's not going to be a slow time for you. You might want to take a rest after some of the winter, just it depending on how your winter went, but May's not going to be that time for Earth. So let's see what your second week's guide or guardian. We have Archangel Michael, powerful protective energy here, and the stone is lapis lazuli with vision. Your inner soul passion inspires you with vision, energy, and optimistic enthusiasm for creative possibilities of all forms. You trust that this true vision, awakening from the depths of your heart, attracts the perfect grace, opportunities, relationships, and information required to manifest this vision. You allow your highest aspirations to nourish you and urge you forward step by step with total trust to the generosity and goodness of the unknown and the universe, which is the portal through which your dreams come to life. Your second week is you're going to start making things happen, whether that is getting the people assembling, like the I-ching talks about, getting the inner circle going, or taking the next steps. What plans do you need to put into place? The first week was get clear on what you're doing. The second week is now put it into action. It's time to get your feet out there and start moving around, whatever that may be. Like I said, they keep showing me this image of like digging out the lawn furniture and cleaning it up. So it's like you could be in that process of doing something so mundane as prepping the summer toys and lounge chairs and stuff, but you can still make a spiritual aspect to it. So there's this thing of cleaning. As I clean out this section, I'm going to release this energy. There's always a way to bring spirit into everything, and that's what they're wanting to remind you of, Earth. Your message from Source is number 44, the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. You may not be comfortable or ready for what's coming this month, but you are. Like consciously, you might be saying, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. What challenges, what changes, what am I creating? Why is this happening? I don't know. You do. And let's be clear here, Earth. You do know what's happening and you know why it's happening. You've set this in motion. The perfect storm is saying everything's lining up and it's going to happen fast. It may cause a little upheaval. Your Source is saying you have the strength of will, you have the strength and the guidance of Source. All of your guides and guardians are with you. Are you ready to step forward and actually move out of your comfort zone and into the creative zone? That's a question you have to answer. I'm seeing a really good month from Earth, so you might get some, as far as my opinion goes, you're going to have this energy going, so why not use it? So that's where that's coming in. Your message from the tarot, that's interesting. You have another major arcana. Number 21, the world, a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is complete, or a new journey that you're beginning. You're getting things moving because it's time for that. The success that you're going to be offered is what is most aligned for you. Pay attention to what your soul is saying, what your gut instincts are. That's going to point you in the right direction. And this is also going to help you pick the destination. You have doors opening for you right now, Earth, that are beyond what you thought you were capable of creating. They're showing me these different images, but that one, there's the loudest one. You are opening up to something that is so much bigger than what you originally thought, and that's where that perfect storm is coming in, because you know that by doing this next step, things can get a little chaotic. Things could get a little bit on the messy side, but it's going to be worth it as long as you're willing to put in the work. So let's take a peek at our third week here. We have the Ascended Master Mataji, and your stone is Crimson Cuprite. Never heard of that stone before. Haven't seen this card before. So we have relief and repair are your energies. Warm and nourishing healing energies for restoration and revitalization rise from the earth and flow generously into your body, mind, and soul. Well, that's good. You're Earth, so this looks great for connecting back in. You trust in the unlimited supply of divine blessings for all being. You put your faith in the healing and reorganizing power of love's wisdom. By softening, emptying, and relaxing, you recharge and invigorate your body, mind, and soul, choosing deep peace, rest, and release, with unconditional trust to the many good things that shall emerge out of this time of restoration. Earth, take the time this week, this third week, to ground back in. There's this busy energy that's coming in. You're not stopping. And that's the one thing I'm going to reiterate from the I-ching. This is not a time for slowness. This is not a time for stillness. This is a time of movement. But as you're going through, that second week might be a little bit chaotic, but this third week is saying, get grounded, do active things that are still pushing towards the goal, but are allowing you also time to rest. Like, don't forget you have self-care that you have the option to do, because that's going to help keep you energized and ready for the next steps. The next steps are going to be all about your growth, is what I'm hearing right now. So we'll see how this plays out in the fourth week. We're not there yet. Your message from Source is number 33, joyful muse with inspiration. When you get quiet, when you get calm, and you actually allow yourself rest, that's when your creative abilities kick up. A lot of there's the tortured poet aspect, where you are in that moment not doing great, or you're having some struggles, so you're inspiration comes from that. But the reality is, creation and inspiration will flow through you and around you when you are in a state of peaceful creation. Doesn't mean you're not going to get it in other places, because there's some times where you'll be in the middle of chaos and all of a sudden, wait, that might work. But it's because you've allowed yourself a moment of peace, and all of a sudden things happen. And that's what they're wanting to say is, even if things are being chaotic, even if you're not sure what the next steps are, take a deep breath, breathe out, ground yourself down, and allow Source to contact you and communicate, because you might be surprised by just taking that pause and deep breath, how much that actually changes going forward. Your message from Source is the 9 of Spring. Protect the fruits of your labor, prepare for challenges that lie ahead. So you're in this beautiful energy. Things are growing, things are happening. Like the I-ching talks about, you don't want to surround yourself with negative or evil people. I think they said evildoers in there. You don't want to surround yourself with that. This is how you protect the fruits of your labor. You've built a good core group. You're bringing in outside people. You want to make sure those people are aligned with what your goals are. You want to bring people who have a mission similar or are willing to support your mission. And that's where it also says in the I-ching, you have to be the one to lead this ship. Earth, you're the one starting this project, so if you're not the one leading it, who knows where it'll end up? And that's what they're saying is, you're the one, if you're in a relationship, Earth, this is your time to shine. You're the one who's leading this situation forward. You're the one who's leading through compassion, through morals and ethics, forward on whatever mission you're on. Like if you happen to be in a relationship and you're wanting to buy a house, the Earth energy this month is going to be the one that's a little more outspoken, a little more stepping up to the plate. And that's where you're protecting the things that are important to you, because you're willing to step forward and say, no, this is what we're actually going to do. And that can be a good or a bad thing, but so make sure you're focusing on the moral and ethics side. Let's take a peek at our last week for our Earth family here. Let's see which guide or guardian comes out. This deck's usually there. We go. It's usually pretty chatty, so it's interesting when it doesn't just kick out the right cards. Your last week's guide or guardian is the angel Bath Cole, and the stone is aquamarine, and your energy is authentic voice. Your authentic voice awakens truth, clarity, and courage within yourself and all others. Your voice supports the opening of the soul path. You trust the truth expressed with love, bringing spiritual benefits to all beings. The authentic message from your soul, shared with generosity and grace, are recognized and received by others. Your soul's wisdom knows how to express what needs to be shared effectively and for the highest good of all. You accept and express this uniqueness of your authentic voice and tune into the resonance that deepens your vision. Choose to live the truth of your soul. The I-ching talks about you want to make sure you're sharing the right information at the right time so that everyone's on the same page as you're going forward. You have to be authentic to be able to do that, and that's not always easy. We like to put on our ego masks of overconfidence, or which tends to lead into arrogance, or other aspects of those energies. So this is saying those are fine on occasion, but remember the authentic voice, the true version of yourself, the person who helped design and write out on paper those ethics, those morals, the things that you live by, that code of conduct. That's the authentic version. And when you're in that mode, it does not matter at all what someone else thinks, because you're stable and you're sound in who you are. So other people can sling and carry on and throw their arrows at you, and you're more like, no thanks, I don't need that. It frees you to move forward in a healthy way. And that's what's coming up in this last week, is when you're talking from your authentic voice, the right people are going to stick with you. Those who aren't are going to fade away. Why? Because your authenticity, what you shine as, is not going to vibe with them, and they're not going to be able to be around you. So you don't have to worry about that. You stick true to yourself. The universe is going to help clean things up as you go along. If someone sneaks in, great. Here in a little bit, they're going to sneak right back out because they can't be around you. And that's the vibe that's coming in. Your message from Source is number 52, straddling the worlds, wandering between realms. Earth, this is what I was saying at the beginning. If you can bring spirit into everything that you do, you walk between worlds. You start to incorporate the spiritual into everything that you do in life, whether it's cleaning the patio furniture, planting seeds, proposing to that person. When you bring source, when you bring spirit into all of that, guides and guardians and all the rest, it actually helps to solidify things, and it allows you to walk between the realms. When we start to trust and understand, honestly, Source's mission for us and our guides and guardians and what their signs and symbols are. And I will say this, working from this energy, you're looking for the positive side, not positive affirmation, the positive energy. Sometimes the door closes and it's like, well, that's not positive, but you'll feel this tug to turn to the right or the left, and there's another door. So you might have that little bit of pay attention here. But the straddling worlds, this is you're kind of where your lessons are coming in this month, and they're going to reveal themselves in this 4th week. Is straddling the worlds for you is a challenge. It's not something that's just easy peasy, you got this. This is going to be a month where you get to learn more about that, and when you come to the end of the month, you're going to be like, oh, that's how that happened. That's why that was going on. I was bringing things through. This cooperation and this unity is not just with this physical group, it's also bringing in the spiritual aspect of it, because you've been walking between realms and worlds, and that shifts reality to a certain extent every single time you do it. And so you have a very powerful gift you're being offered this month, Earth. And it comes with a little bit of chaos. It's busy energy. But the reward's going to be worth it is what I'm hearing. And that reward is going to look different for everyone. So, I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be X number of dollars or whatever it is. Because you all have to do your own journey. And your version of success is up to you. Your message from the tarot is the Princess of Winter. Inquisitive, truthful, realistic, and undiplomatic. This is where you get into that hard truth thing. Information that can help, but which may be difficult to hear. Hard truth. Speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. And if you understand the concept of indigos, which I'll talk about those later, it's a very intuitive, very empathic person. And genuine indigos are about as sharp or about as about as nice as a rattlesnake. And it's not because they're mean at a heart. They are going to tell you point blank, this is what the truth is. They don't really they're worried about your feelings, but they're worried about your path. So if you happen to run into one of these people, and there are quite a few of them out there, a lot of your Gen Xers are like this, and there's a few in the next generation down, the Gen Ys, but that was the bulk, is right through there. So like 70 to 84-ish, 86 maybe, depending on the year. And the indigos are the people who are coming forward, and they're just going to tell you the truth. They're going to cushion the blow a little bit, just like it says here, speak the truth with kindness, but they're not going to sugarcoat it to the point where you get away with anything. So Earth, if you happen to be an indigo or you happen to know an indigo, this is where they're going to come forward and be very truthful with you. If you're not directed in the right direction, the source is going to use these people to help guide you in the right path. That's where the inquisitive and truthful and realistic part is. Yes, be realistic with your goals. Be open to new ideas, because you never know what's going to happen. But if you happen to start wandering a direction that may not be the best option, be for sure there is going to be an indigo that's going to pop in and be like, what are you doing? That is not the best option. Turn around. And it's not that they're being mean. They see something you've missed. And if you happen to be the indigo, try to cushion the blow when you talk to people, because it's not always the easiest thing to do. And that energy, and I've been around a few of them in my life, the energy of an indigo is very soothing. You want to be around them, but don't ask them a question unless you're ready for the answer, because they are not going to sugarcoat that. just for full disclosure there. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great month of May. It looks like you're going to. And incorporate spirit into every aspect of your life. Pray before meals. Talk to Source and your angels as you're out doing projects. And see if you don't notice a difference in how things play out for you this month. I will see you in the next video.